What's going on, everyone? Bryant here. Today is Tuesday, September 29th, 2020. This should be a relatively brief video. It's just on a beautiful short today on Amazon. I started teaching some in-person students and I told them if there's anything you guys really want to focus on when you first start trading, it's support, resistance, understanding the art of your trend lines, and then the only two main indicators in which you need on your daily time frame would be the 50-day SMA and the 200-day SMA. With those three ingredients, if you will, they all pointed to such a great short today on Amazon. I'm labeling those the beginner friendly reasons for this short, and then I'm going to list a few more advanced reasons for why this is such a high probability short today. So let's start with this trend line right here. This is January right here, so we're pretty much only looking at 2020's price action. If we look at this trend line from here, we'll see from the peak in February, this swing high to this swing high in April, and then continuing the line out, we'll see that it was in confluence with today. Next, we just duplicated the trend line down here, and that's how I have this channel going on. Now, I had this up already from pre-market, so I was already just waiting for Amazon to come up to this levels. These levels have been here for a couple months now, and you guys can see the multiple touches. The more touches you have on the trend line, the stronger it is. Next, we have this resistance right here. Let's just zoom in now that you guys know where the trend line is coming from. We have this price level. It's just a good resistance level. Why? Because look at all the touches Amazon had on this resistance level. We can see it was held down here, it was held down here. Look at the close of this body here, look at this body, and just look at all these touches. So you generally want to see that whenever you have a resistance line drawn out. Lastly, let's just zoom back out on the chart. Zoom in again to 2020. The orange line on my chart is the 50-day SMA. On the daily time frame, it is a very, very powerful indicator. It's one that's used by many market participants, and that's why you want to make sure you pay attention to it. And down here, we have the 200-day SMA. Amazon is very far away from it, so that did not affect today's trade. But we already have three confluences all lining up to today. Before the market even opened, Amazon was already touching at these levels, and that's why it was on watch for a short. Next, we have what I would consider to be a little bit more of advanced reading of the charts. Volume would be the next indicator in which you do not want to overlook. If we look at this chart here, we'll see that volume was decreasing on Amazon as it was increasing, coming towards this potential resistance zone. I'll say that one more time. Buying started on Amazon since last week, Thursday. We continued to bounce. This was Thursday, Friday. This was yesterday, Monday, and then today, Tuesday. So pre-market, we were already touching up on this level. As we can see, the volume was decreasing. You can argue with me that that might have been something that a beginner might have been able to spot, but I've known a lot of traders to overlook volume on the daily time frame and how it can help you take an intraday trade. Next, let's get into a little bit more of the advanced reasons, which is just understanding the overall market environment in which we're in right now. So I'll pull up the SPY, and we'll see that the SPY today was also running up for the past 3 days. The SPY, for the past 3 days, it appears the bulls have been in control of the SPY, and we were coming right up to the 50-day SMA on the SPY also. Yesterday can be considered a spinning top candle. It just showed a little bit of indecisiveness. Generally, when you see this at a resistance point, you can expect some sort of reversal the next day. Now Amazon is not just listed on the SPY, it's also listed on the NASDAQ. So we'll switch over to the Qs and just analyze what we have here. Similar price action with the SPY. We can see that bulls had been in control for the past 3 days. The NASDAQ was actually relatively stronger than the SPY because the NASDAQ was over its 50-day SMA. But what I have on this chart right here, as you guys can see, is this trend line. So I was aware of this from yesterday. We'll take a dive into the futures shortly because, as you guys know, I am a futures trader, and that was actually another reason why I had a little bit of edge on this short trade. The next quote-unquote advanced reason, I'd call it, if we go back to Amazon, is understanding that the current market sentiment is slightly bearish. You can argue that it's a little bit indecisive. Either way, if you look at it, after a day of a stock running up this much and sentiment is relatively bearish, bears are looking for any reason to get into short a stock, and they already had a few reasons here. So we'll check that off the list. Also today, this evening, after the market closes at 8 p.m. Eastern time, we have Trump and Biden are set to debate. Now, as an investor, would you want to add to a position going into the first presidential debate? Elections is only a few weeks away. This is our first presidential debate. as an investor, again, would you want to add today? It just doesn't really make much sense, does it? Now, another thing I use to make a lot of my trades, as you guys should know, is also supply and demand zones. Let's just switch over to Amazon on the hourly, and we'll look at the volume profile on Amazon. This is the volume profile for Amazon for the past 20 days. This video is not an explanation about the volume profile, but just know these are called volume nodes right here. And as you guys can see, this is where the node first ticks off. So if we just draw this here, we extend it over, just trying to cover all of these long volume nodes, and we'll extend it out right here. We also have this dashed yellow line is called the point of control. This whole area here would be considered a high volume area on Amazon, which we would read it as a supply zone. Why is it a supply zone? Because Amazon is currently below it, so we can anticipate this to be some sort of potential resistance. We also have the 50-day moving average here, as you guys know from the daily time frame. If you guys want another look, you can get this volume profile using any charting software. This is Thinkorswim. I obviously customized the volume profile to make it just look appealing to me. I don't like it to be super blue and in my face, but that's one way to see the volume profile. The next way to see it is, as you guys know, I like to look at TradingView. So if we just switch over to TradingView, I draw out my volume profile somewhat. I draw out my supply and resistance zones manually a lot of the time, just by looking at volume this way and seeing where were the last few big sellers. This is Amazon on the 4-hour time frame. It's nothing too crazy. I'm not looking to break down, supply and demand zones in this video. I will do a dedicated video just for that, but just know I was looking at where were the last big sell-off days and then trying to cover most of the volume here, and it was actually in confluence with what I already had on Thinkorswim. That's how I labeled that as a supply zone. That's another little bit of an advanced reason for this short to work in our favor. Next, let's look at Amazon intraday on our 5-minute time frame. Right here we have what it looked like. So I have pre-market data turned off. There's no need for it. Actually, I'll turn it on just for some of you guys if you just want to see what it looked like. Here's pre-market data turned on. The highlighted area here, this is after hours and this is pre-market. It's pretty choppy, but we can see Amazon put in a high last night, and it was already starting a downtrend right here. So again, I didn't necessarily use that for my trade because I was looking at futures, which we'll be looking at shortly. We'll take that off, zoom into today, and just extend out the chart. The bell opens, Amazon is over VWAP, it runs up, but it immediately starts getting rejected here. These wicks made me feel good about this short. I was actually in this short from 9:45. So the moment I got confirmation of the rejection, I decided to get short. And then as we can see, Nasdaq started to trend down all day. It cannot break this trend from the opening drive push. That just made me feel even better. Reason to hold this trade, as we can see, once we had this trend line support in the trade thesis, but once we got below VWAP, we know now sellers really started coming into control, and then we had some sort of a descending triangle forming. I didn't necessarily use this, but I didn't have it drawn out, but I was aware of this descending triangle forming, and then we cracked, and then we just had this nice push. And part of the trade is a swing trade. I'm taking the swing trade not on a live account just because I want to see how it plays out. It's an options trade, so aware of where the next support is on the trend. I just want to see how Amazon will play out, and I'm not interested in holding any large size, knowing again the presidential debate is tonight, but I want to see if this trade will play out and continue all the way down here, or at least give us this gap fill that would put Amazon down here. Now for Amazon, this was by no means a monster day. I mean, this is only a 50-point move from the initial morning push from here to here. The low of day, this is 51 points. We'll just call it 50, and by close it's a 41-point move. Amazon's ATR, which is the amount it's expected to move on a day, would be over 100 points, so that still gives it another 50 points to go. And if tomorrow ends up being a day with a lot of volume, we can expect 100 points tomorrow. That would put Amazon down to this trend line, and that's the same trend line from here, which is the channel support from our daily time frame. Now, another reason why this is considered a high probability short and why I felt comfortable holding it all day, if this wasn't enough reasons, if this wasn't enough reasons for you, there's also the fact that it had very low RVOL today, which is just a relative volume. As I said, the ATR is over 100 points. You can get that information right here using Finviz. I have a paid account, but you don't need to pay for it. You can just get this information for free. RVOV, you can think of it as there just wasn't a lot of people trading it today. That confirmation, that made me feel even better because it meant bulls were really not going to show up. Considering I was shorting after 3 green days, I did want to see low RVOV because I know with elevated RVOV, bulls would have used that as a reason to try and break through this resistance. Lastly, let's just go back to our charts. Next, let's just switch over to the futures because you guys know I am a futures trader. I do look at the futures before I take most of my trades. If you're enjoying the video so far, make sure to leave a comment, like the video, share, and don't forget to subscribe. Understanding what was going on in the futures provided significant edge for me. What we're looking at is the NASDAQ futures. For the past couple weeks, this is an hourly time frame. Now, this right here was when we had this break of this up channel and we had the aggressive sell-off. As we can see, that same level right here lined up with where we hit during the overnight session. I also had this downtrend formed right here from the futures. That would be this green line, as you guys can see flying across here. I did want to see us touch this level overnight, but we didn't. Had we touched it, that would have given me extra conviction to actually take a bigger position. I was short the NASDAQ also. It was a brutal short because you guys can see right here, the market was actually very choppy. I mean, this is the hourly time frame. It was just, I was in it from just before the bell rung, and this was very annoying to hold a short, especially again after such a very bullish run on the NASDAQ. I had my reasons, so I didn't want to miss this short. I also want to point out this trend line. I pointed out from a few videos. I just extended it out, and I knew once we broke down below this level, bears were going to use this as a reason to start really hitting the NASDAQ short. So I had a little bit of wind at my back from that. And if we look at the ES, this is the same hourly time frame. And we'll see that this level right here I had marked as a very strong resistance, which we hit overnight. Also, I had this marked off here. I believe this is the point of control from this consolidation. So once we got below that, just as the market opened, I saw that level was being rejected. I did like that. It made me feel comfortable. If we go back to the NASDAQ, let me just zoom out a little bit and pull up some volume profile action on this. As you guys know, I love the volume profile. Right here, this consolidation zone from here to here, you see this yellow line, that was the point of control from that consolidation. So we were at it overnight. This is 1 a.m. this is now 2 a.m. and this is 3 a.m. we broke down after we had consolidated at that zone for a few hours overnight. So I like that, and whenever I see that, I'm reading it as it's not only a supply zone on the stock in which I was watching, it was also a supply zone on the futures. Lastly, we'll jump to the futures intraday chart, which is right here. Before we get to that, actually, let me just point out, I always want to just point out the ADD because it's a good measure also for what's going on. The ADD gapped down below 0 today, and then we had this little bit of a sell-off, and then we came back up, and then the ADD just rolled over. That made me feel even extra happy about holding Amazon all day, even though it was a very, very long trade to be in. It was an intraday swing with a small piece being held overnight. Again, though, the small piece is not held on a live account. I just want to track it out and see how the trade ends up playing out, but I would like to, but I'm sharing this information with you guys so you guys can see how you can put a lot of pieces together. We started the video again with the very, very simple things. I'll jump back to the daily, just using a resistance line, just using a trend line, and then using the 50-day SMA. Those are 3 very simple reasons, and as you can see, I just compounded that with some more advanced thinking as well as advanced reasons for why this was a high probability short. Switching back to the futures, let's jump to right here. Here goes the NASDAQ. I'll maximize that, and let's pull this out here. Sorry, let's just zoom into just pre-market action. So here we go. Here's our pole, and then here's our flag. I'll just put a graphic over the chart so you guys can see what I'm talking about with the bear flag lit up. And then we had this break. We came back. We retested it. This was VWAP on the futures, which was in confluence with the retracement of this bear flag. And then I saw how we got rejected, and I was already short, I believe, from here or so, and it was just annoying holding through all of this. My stop was over this, so I did not want to be stopped out knowing that this is going to be a high probability trade. And even the NASDAQ, it took forever. I ended up covering, I believe, around here. I took profit a little bit early because at this point it was just getting a little bit too, even for me, just annoying, and I was already short Amazon. But this is just to show you guys how a pattern on the futures can help you take a trade. Had I seen a bull flag on the futures, I would not have been looking to short a NASDAQ stock. I would have been looking for what's maybe the strongest stock on my watch list. Switching over to, lastly, I'm just going to switch to the ES tick chart, which you guys know I like to use. Here's our volume spike right here. I just extended this level. Every time the ES interacted with this level, we had a crazy volume spike. This was towards the end of the day yesterday, and then I saw that we were this level was still holding. So I knew there was a lot of supply, there was a lot of resistance here. Even though it looked like so many times we wanted to break past it, we didn't really break past it on much volume. So once we ticked below this level here and then we just broke this trend line, that gave me extra confirmation to hold the trade. All right, looking back at Amazon on the daily, we'll just close up with this. I hope this video really helped you guys, and you can see how you can piece together very simple information. I mean, just looking at the daily chart, I didn't have to go too in depth with a lot, or at least hopefully it didn't seem like I went too in depth with a lot. It's very simple. Again, just using a resistance line, a trend line, just looking at this year's price action, understanding what's going on in the market, and then having this 50-day SMA, being able to identify a pattern on the futures, being able to read volume on the daily time frame, as well as looking at volume profile and stuff like that, understanding supply and demand zones, just putting together a lot of different pieces of the puzzle. And that's how you want to think when you're entering a trade, and how you can build a bigger trade idea, and it will allow you to hold a trade instead of being shaken out of a lot of this. If you were looking to scalp Amazon today and you were looking to try and trade this, you would have missed what was going on in the bigger picture, and this would just make you feel crazy. Wouldn't you agree? Leave a comment if you've been there, man. Anyway, before I ramble too much, hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Leave a comment down below. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button, and thanks for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.